This weekend, the road to WrestleMania kicks off with one of the most prestigious events in World Wrestling Entertainment history. It is tied for the second longest running pay-per-view event of all time. And this Sunday night, this truly historic event, this tremendous event, will be celebrating its 30th anniversary with the most stacked card in the history of the event, and perhaps the most star-studded Royal Rumble match of all time. A concept created by WWE Hall of Famer and first ever Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Pat Patterson. This tradition turns the big 3-0 on Sunday night. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Royal Rumble. Hello, friends, and welcome to this very special edition of the Wrestling Forum. Normally, if it's Friday night, it's strictly sports, but not this Friday night. Next Friday night, yes, but this Friday night, it's the Wrestling Forum. Oh, yes, it is. So sit back and relax and enjoy what the yes movement of the Wrestling Forum will bring to you here tonight. Fortunately, I do have one round of bad news, and that is our third panelist, if you will, good old MF, Michael Fletcher, unfortunately will not be joining us as he has plans. He has plans with friends tonight, so he went to the movies tonight with his friends. So, but not to worry, he did his own videos this afternoon, around 3-4 o'clock this afternoon. He did his own video. He did a video posting. He posted 2 videos. Well, 3 actually. He did one for the RWA, but he also did videos previewing NXT Takeover San Antonio and the Royal Rumble itself. So check them out. It's over on his channel. They're all over on his channel, Brace Fan 95, when you have the moment. And also check out our hardcore pipe bomb himself, Derek Ferreira. He posted a Facebook Live video in the Sports Cave group page. So check that out when you get a chance. So, ridiculously over Anthony Floro here with you, joined by my partner in crime in the Yes Movement and the leader of the Cesaro section, the one and only Phenom himself, Mr. Michael Bullock. And when he's here, Mike here, he certainly is here. So, he is here. So, we're ready to rock and roll on this, on what's going to be a great night here. I mean, double your pleasure, double your fun. That's exactly what we're going to do here tonight, as we are going to preview not only the Royal Rumble, but we're also going to preview NXT TakeOver San Antonio. So like I said, sit back and relax and enjoy what we're going to bring to you right here and now. We cannot wait to get into this. And 2 great events, which is going to kick off a wonderful weekend in San Antonio, Texas. And without any further ado, let's dive on in. First up, it's NXT TakeOver San Antonio, which will be live tomorrow night from the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio, Texas. A venue that has hosted a couple of WWE events in the past. You remember it hosted the infamous Tuesday in Texas event. And while it was a star-studded show, unfortunately, it was a flop. And then the other big event it hosted, of course, the 1994 Survivor Series, which featured, of course, the return of The Undertaker in the casket match against the late Yokozuna, Bob Backlund winning the title, the start of the Diesel and Shawn Michaels feud, a whole lot more. So that's where TakeOver San Antonio will be going up. We'll be going down tomorrow night, and we cannot wait. I mean, you know how special this event can get. So, what I mean is NXT TakeOver events always have been very special, and I'm sure this one is going to be no exception. And quite frankly, who's anybody that's a wrestling fan is definitely looking forward to this event. So we do have 5 matches on the card. So so with all that being said, let's start it off with our first match of the evening. It's going to be Andrade Cien Almas squaring off against Roderick Strong. And, well, to round out the Takeover card, WWE pitted 2 talented performers who are still looking to make their mark on NXT against each other. Strong is a former Ring of Honor World Champion with some of the crispest ring work you'll ever see. Almas is a luchador who thrilled Mexican audiences as La Sombra. Each man has yet to truly connect with the NXT fans. This clash is going to change all that. Although the wrestlers won't be helped by a strong pre-match narrative, essentially, Almas challenged Strong after one of his recent wins. There is little hype surrounding this as a result, but perhaps their in-ring skills can offset that. So with all that being said, I got to go with Roderick Strong to win this match. I mean, Roderick Strong has the experience. He has the pedigree, if you will. Like I said, a former Ring of Honor World Champion. I know if MF was here, he would attest to that because you know how big of a Ring of Honor mark MF is. And this should be a solid match. I mean, I know Roderick Strong. I mean, not only did he work in Ring of Honor, he also worked in TNA as well. And I remember seeing some of his matches in the early days of TNA. So he is a good performer, and I think him and Almas can put on a solid to fairly decent opening bout. So based on the experience, I got to go with Roderick Strong to win this match. So with all that being said, Phenom Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on our first match of NXT Takeover San Antonio. Andrade Cien Almas against Roderick Strong. You know about Almas. I don't know if you know about Roderick Strong, but tomorrow night, you're going to get your chance.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these are two of the most talented superstars right now in NXT. And yeah, I mean, Roderick Strong has been doing really good since coming to NXT. But these two had an opportunity to challenge for the NXT title when they competed in a fatal 4-way match, but neither man prevailed in the contest, but Roderick Strong was the one who eliminated Almas from the bout with his sick kick. And after winning his rematch against Oney Lorcan, Almas, he basically called out Strong and making it clear that the Florida native is his next target. So what better way to do it than to have these two go at it here at Takeover San Antonio. So as much as I like Almas, but from what I've heard about Roderick Strong, he's really good. So I'm going to go with Roderick Strong to beat Almas. So that's pretty much all I can say. So Floria, let's move on to the next match I'll lead off on.
Yes, sir. And speaking of TNA mainstays, here's a former TNA mainstay, if there ever was one. This gentleman, a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, also I believe he was a former tag team champion as well, as part of one of my all-time favorite stables in TNA, Team Canada. He's also now the leader of the Sanity stable. It's going to be Showtime. Eric Young squaring off against the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. All right, Bullock, you know all about Ty Dillinger, but Eric Young, you know Eric Young. Like I said, former TNA heavyweight champion. I mean, I know more about Eric Young than you do. But from the little, I mean, you've seen Eric Young wrestle, I'm sure. And if you have you been impressed by his body of work? And do you think he can match wits against the Perfect 10?
Yeah, I mean, I've had the chance to see some of the matches he's been in on NXT since coming in, and I think he's looked really good. And I mean, there's a reason why, like you mentioned, that he was a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and yeah, I mean, but he's really come on strong with this weird group known as Sanity. So yeah, Ty Dillinger, he's gonna have his hands full, not just with Eric Young, but who knows, maybe the rest of the members of Sanity could be at ringside. So this could be a good match, but I think it's going to have a little bit of a clunky finish because I do think Sanity will probably interfere in the match. So as much as I like Ty Dillinger, I gotta go with Eric Young to win this match. So Florio, I give it to you.
Well, the gang of crazed animals known as Sanity wanted Dillinger to join their ranks. The Perfect 10 wasn't interested. The cost of not accepting a Faustian deal with Young and his Sanity crew is that Dillinger made an enemy in the process. If Dillinger isn't headed to the main roster soon, this promises to be the start of a long, compelling rivalry. The Perfect 10 will have to survive Young's vicious ways as well as whatever the other Sanity members lurking at ringside have in mind. Young's experience, the brewing animosity between these men, and Dillinger's recent streak of strong performances all have the makings of a show stealer. So with that being said, I agree with you, Bullock, 100%. I have Showtime Eric Young winning this match and continuing his evil ways as part of Sanity. So, all right, now we're going to get into the fun stuff now, the championship matches. All 3 NXT titles will be on the line, and we're going to start it off with the Women's Championship. It's going to be a fatal 4-way. Asuka defending the NXT Women's Championship against Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, and Nikki Cross of Sanity. Asuka demanded to face these 3 challengers all at once. Royce and Kay, NXT's resident bullies, attacked her backstage. Sanity's Cross took cheap shots at the champ too. Asuka's now set to unleash fury on everyone who dared come at her. After felling every opponent to come her way since her NXT arrival, Asuka faces her toughest obstacle to date. The Australian heel pair of Royce and Kay will work together to take down Asuka. Cross is a frenzied beast who can hang with the champion in a slugfest. Chances are Cross and Asuka's feud extends beyond this, as the two have shown excellent chemistry with each other so far. Should be a solid match at best, but if I got to pick a winner here, there's only one way you can go. It's Asuka. How can you bet against Asuka at this time? And I'm also gonna make a bold prediction here tonight. I think sometime by the end of this year, you're gonna see Asuka on the main roster. I just don't know which brand she'll go to. Will she go to SmackDown Live? Will she go to Monday Night Raw? But the point I'm trying to make, she will be in a WWE ring by the end of this year. And I think that it could come maybe sometime after WrestleMania. You know how they are about after WrestleMania pushes. It wouldn't surprise me if we see the beauty from Osaka, Japan in a WWE ring by the end of this year. I strongly believe that. And I know everybody around the world believes it too. So should be a solid match. But like I said, there's only one way to go. It's Asuka. If she loses the belt, I will be the most surprised guy in the entire world. So with that being said, give me Asuka to retain. So Michael Bullock, Asuka, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Nikki Cross, Fatal 4-Way NXT Women's Championship. There's only one way to go.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I gotta go with Asuka here. I mean, she's been the most dominant women's wrestler in NXT since she made her debut, and she's now had the longest reign as the NXT Women's Champion because remember she took that title from Bayley back at the what was that? I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was Takeover the night before WrestleMania.
Takeover Dallas.
Yeah, Takeover Dallas when she took the title from Bayley and she's turned back the challenge of so many women's wrestlers over there in NXT. Well, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce have basically been, let's just say, bullying their way through the women's division and don't you get that they have the feeling of the team of Emma and Dana Brooke when they were at NXT when they were basically running roughshod through the women's division. Doesn't it get that? Don't you have that feeling of that, Florio?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I mean, they definitely have a bit of a Charlotte Dana Brooke thing going on right now. They definitely rank up there as some of the great female duos of all time. But if you're talking about, pure wrestling ability and not overly obnoxious and annoying like Lay Cool was, oy. But
Oh, don't get me started on that crap.
yeah, but you make a great point. I mean, Billie Kay like the Charlotte Flair and Peyton Royce like the Dana Brooke, but all I know is they're fun to watch.
And I
As far as
think the wild card in this match is obviously Nikki Cross,
of course,
from Sanity, because
indeed,
we thought this was basically going to be Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, but Nikki Cross basically wanted her shot at the women's title, so she's my wild card in this match. So especially after what we saw on NXT this past Wednesday night, but to me, I mean, I don't care how it goes. I'm going with Asuka to once again win and remain your NXT Women's Champion, and I do agree. I mean, I think some point down the road she will be on the main roster, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does end up being the night after WrestleMania, because we always see these great NXT talents debut on the main roster the night before or the day after WrestleMania, I should say. And I think if I had to predict on where I think Asuka should go when it comes to the main roster, whether it's Raw or SmackDown Live, I'd have to say I think Raw would be the best fit. Because imagine some of the matches she could have. I mean, maybe having her against Charlotte, or her against Nia Jax. So we'll definitely have to wait and see. I mean, we still got a long way to go before we talk about WrestleMania or the night after. But either way, I got Asuka winning this. So Florio, let's move on to our next match, and I think this is for the NXT Tag Team titles.
yes, indeed, Bullock, and keep your mic on because you're going to be leaning off on it, of course. It's going to be for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Champions, DIY, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, defending against the number one contenders, Akam and Rezar, the Authors of Pain, of course, accompanied by the legendary Hall of Famer himself, Paul Ellering. You remember Paul Ellering, formerly of the Legion of Doom, and at one time the Disciples of Apocalypse. So, all right, Bullock, DIY. I mean, they are America's favorite tag team. They are, America's sweethearts, if you will, as far as tag team wrestling is concerned. You remember they won the titles back at the last Takeover event in Toronto back in November. And what was, in many people's eyes, the match of the year last year against the Revival in that 2 out of 3 falls, 5-star Shakespearean drama-laden classic. So, question is, I mean, this is a proverbial David versus Goliath matchup here. So, Authors of Pain, of course, Bullock, boy, oh boy, have they been dominant. The winners of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, the second annual Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic some time ago. So, all right, Bullock, David or Goliath? Who do you have in this tag team title matchup?
Yeah, I mean, Tommaso and Ciampa DIY have been dominant since basically winning the tag team titles from the Revival, and like you said, what many people thought was the match of the year, and I do agree, it is the match of the year as far as I'm concerned. And then the Authors of Pain. I mean, what can you say? Ever since debuting in NXT under the tutelage of the legendary Paul Ellering, they've run roughshod through the tag team division as far as going on to win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and now they get their opportunity to win some gold. And this is a tough one for me to choose. I mean, part of me wants to go with the DIY, another one's telling me to go with the Authors of Pain. But with the way that WWE NXT is pushing the Authors of Pain, I'm gonna actually take a chance, and I'm gonna say the winners of the bout and new NXT Tag Team Champions, the Authors of Pain. I mean, they are on such a roll right now, and I mean, DIY's had a pretty good run with the titles, but with the way they're pushing the Authors of Pain, I think it's finally going to come in for them. So, winners and new NXT Tag Team Champions, the Authors of Pain. Florio, it is yours.
Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are set to play the Davids to Akam and Rezar of the Authors of Pain's Goliaths. DIY, the easy-to-root-for babyface team, will be outsized by a large margin tomorrow night. But will it equal a title change? It's only been since the last TakeOver special that Gargano and Ciampa have been champs. They will play in-ring mentors to their Raw big men rivals. Expect Gargano and Ciampa to carry the load, leading the Authors of Pain to their best showing yet. This won't be nearly as good as the recent string of top-flight tag team matches on NXT cards, thanks to the Revival not being involved. So, boy howdy. I mean, like I said, that when they won the titles from the Revival in Toronto, I mean, boy howdy. If you haven't even seen that fight, what is wrong with you? I mean, you're not a wrestling fan if you haven't seen that fight. I mean, that was a 5-star classic, Shakespearean drama at its absolute finest. One of the greatest tag team title matches I ever saw in my entire life. And I've seen plenty of tag team title matches in my day. NXT, TNA, WWE, the whole 9 yards. So, this is a gut-heart situation here. My gut is telling me to go with the Authors of Pain. My heart's telling me to go with DIY. But with that being said, the Authors of Pain are just too dominant. They're just too big. They're just too strong. So, yeah, I got to go with the Authors of Pain as well. But I actually would not be surprised if DIY actually won this match. I wouldn't. So, they made it tough for us to call, but I got to go with the Authors of Pain to win the belts. So, I agree with Bullock. Winners and new NXT Tag Team Champions. Reek, Akam, and Rezar, the Authors of Pain. And now to the main event of NXT TakeOver San Antonio. And a match that everyone in the IWC is waiting for. Oh boy, are we going to have some fun here. For the NXT Championship, champion Shinsuke Nakamura defending the title against yet another former TNA mainstay and the longest heavyweight champion in history, the glorious one himself, Bobby Roode. Oh boy. There's nothing left for me to say except this. Before I get into my schematics, this is going to be the fight of the night. This is going to be the fight of the night. These two are going to steal the show. I strongly believe in my heart of hearts, this is going to be a 5-star classic, chock full of the finest Shakespearean drama you will ever see. And man, this is a dream match for anybody who's in the IWC or just wrestling fans in general. We know what Shinsuke Nakamura did. You know, he was one of the mainstays of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Bobby Roode, of course, we know what he is. We know what he can do. I mean, you know, one of the founding members of TNA, longest TNA World Heavyweight Champion in history. 251 days he held that belt before losing it to yet another former NXT star right now, A-Double, Austin Aries. So we know what Bobby Roode can do. It pays to be Roode, so we'll find out if it indeed pays to be Roode for Bobby Roode as he gets ready to go for yet another championship to add to his unbelievable resume. I mean, you know the resume. For anybody who knows about Bobby Roode's resume, I mean, he won every belt there is to win in TNA, with the exception of the X Division title. He never won the X Division title. He won all of them. World Tag Team Championship, King of the Mountain Championship, two-time heavyweight champion. 256 days. I stand corrected. He held it for 256 days when he won it from James Storm and then lost it to Austin Aries, Destination X, 2012. One of the greatest matches I ever saw. I mean, that was a damn near 5-star classic. Shakespearean drama at its finest. When A-Double won the title, Option C, you know the story. So, all right, now to my schematic here. New Japan Pro Wrestling will collide with TNA as Nakamura and Rude battle in tomorrow night's marquee event. Each man is far from being a developmental talent. Both Nakamura and Rude are part of NXT to give the brand star power, and it's that element that WWE is leaning on heavily here. The build has been so-so. The story has been minimal. This is simply a clash of two warriors that diehard fans have long appreciated. This should still be an excellent match. The entrances alone will make this must-see, thanks to the champions and challengers' showmanship. You know, Nakamura with the violins and the whole 9 yards, with that epic entrance theme of his, and Bobby Roode, of course, with the glorious. You know, I'm sure we're probably going to get a big old choir ready to rock and roll on that. And as Nakamura proved at TakeOver Dallas last year, he could put on a masterpiece without a strong narrative foundation to work with. I know everybody out there is, just about everybody there is out there is going with Nakamura to successfully defend, and I can understand that. You know, he's hot potatoed that thing quite a bit. You know, he's already a multi-time champion. I mean, he originally won it at TakeOver Brooklyn last summer from Samoa Joe, another former TNA mainstay, by the way. And then lost it back to Joe in Toronto. And then at an NXT live event in Nakamura's home country of Japan, Osaka, I believe, Nakamura won the belt back from Joe. And he's held it since. Nakamura is amazing. He is unbelievable. They don't call him the king of strong style for nothing. But I got this feeling right now. I think Nakamura is also on his way to the main roster sometime this year. When that is, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, my gut's telling me night after WrestleMania. Maybe even at the Royal Rumble. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to go with my heart here. My gut's telling me Nakamura, but this is one time I got to go with my heart over my gut. I'm calling it. Winner and new NXT champion, Glorious himself, my man, original member of the Fortune 4, Bobby Roode, Robert Roode, whatever you want to call him. And when he wins that title tomorrow night, he will show once and for all that it truly does pay to be Roode. Michael Bullock, how do you follow that?
I don't even know how the heck I'm going to follow that, but I'll definitely try. But yeah, I mean, Nakamura, has been dominant since joining NXT. I mean, going back to that TakeOver Dallas last year and that 5-star classic match he had with Sami Zayn, and we've seen it. I mean, winning the NXT title, of course, from Samoa Joe, of course, back at TakeOver Brooklyn too, and then losing it to Samoa Joe, and then winning it back, and yeah, and he's been dominant, but now he's basically going up against the glorious one, Bobby Roode, another TNA mainstay, and I've seen him in action, and now you know why, of course, Bobby Roode was a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I've been impressed with him, so this is a tough one to call, but as much as I love Nakamura, I gotta go with Bobby Roode as well to become your new NXT champion. And I think eventually we're gonna see Shinsuke Nakamura on the main roster. When? I don't know. I think it'll definitely be sometime this year, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I can say. So that puts a book on the NXT TakeOver previews of Wario. let's move on to our preview of the 30th Royal Rumble event taking place at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas.
Ooh, Nelly. For WWE, the Royal Rumble is an opportunity to drastically change storylines and begin the annual road to WrestleMania with fans enthused for the company's premier show each year. The 2017 edition of this historic January pay-per-view will be no different, with one of the most star-studded Royal Rumble matches in history main eventing the 4-hour show. It is all set to go down Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, live worldwide on the WWE Network, with a special 2-hour kickoff show beginning at 5 p.m. Eastern, featuring not one but two special guests, both WWE Hall of Famers, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels and Jerry the King Lawler. Before we get to that star-studded Royal Rumble match, there are other matches. There are quite a few other matches that we need to get into. All right. Originally, we were supposed to have 2 matches on the pre-show, but now we have 3, and 2 of them are women's matches. But let me just give you a rundown. I mean, usually we don't get into the pre-show matches, but maybe we could do like quick predictions on these. First one being Sasha Banks squaring off against Nia Jax. I mean, there's nothing left for me to say. I mean, if I had to give a quick prediction, I'd have to go with Nia Jax. So what do you think, Bullet?
Yeah, I got to go with Nia Jax as well. I mean, because, basically she's dominant. And number 2, who knows how 100% Sasha Banks is with that knee injury. So as much as I love the boss, I got to go with the dominant Nia Jax.
Fair enough. Raw Tag Team Championship on the line. Cesaro and Sheamus, the champions, defending against the number 1 contenders, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. 2 referees on the outside. Not 1, but 2 referees. You like that little Czech Copic play on words I just did. So, all right. 2 referees here. This is tough for me to go. This is really tough, but there's something telling me that I think we might get to see new champions here, and to give people incentive to tune into the pre-show and give them that incentive that anything can happen even on the pre-show. So, and we've seen title changes on pre-show before. Remember Cesaro when he won the United States Heavyweight Championship from Santino Marella on the SummerSlam 2012 kickoff show? Anybody remember that? So it can be done. And what about the New Age Outlaws at the Royal Rumble pre-show 3 years ago when they won the tag team championship from the Dust Brothers? So it's been done. So will it happen again? I think it can. I'm gonna take a chance, and I'm gonna go with Gallows and Anderson to win the belts. They deserve to have the belts. It's about time they put the belts on them. I think they're more than capable of running with the tag belts. So Bullock, what do you think? New champs, or do you think Cesaro and Sheamus retain? Quick style.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I gotta disagree with you. I gotta go with Cesaro and Sheamus. I've liked what I've seen from them. I just think it's too soon to take the belts off of them, and yeah. So I'm going with Cesaro and Sheamus to remain your Raw Tag Team Champions. But I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Gallows and Anderson do the unthinkable and become the tag team champions, and they deserve it. Especially they've come close so many times, and they deserve this opportunity. But unfortunately, I get this feeling that that's not going to be the case. So Cesaro and Sheamus will still be your Raw Tag Team Champions.
And the other match on the pre-show, originally we thought this was going to be on the main card, but yesterday they announced it was going to be bumped to the kickoff show. 6-woman tag team match exclusively from SmackDown Live. Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Naomi will square off against SmackDown Live Women's Champion Alexa Bliss, the returning Mickie James, and Natalya. Bullock, who do you like? Quick.
Well, I gotta go with the baby faces here. I gotta go with Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Nikki Bella to win this match.
All right. Gotta respectfully disagree with you. I'm going with the heel team here. I think Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya pick up the win. I think I could see Mickie James getting the 1, 2, 3. So that's all I can say about that. So that's the pre-show. Now let's move on to the main card for the WWE Royal Rumble, the 30th annual Royal Rumble. Here we go, boy. Here we go. We're going to start it off with the WWE Cruiserweight Championship on the line. Champion Rich Swann defending the title against the challenge of one Adrian Neville. Boy, howdy. I got a good feeling about this. I know the Cruiserweight division has been terrible. I get it. But I think this could be the breakout match this division really needs. I mean, but then again, we kind of got a preview of that at if you didn't see 205 Live this past Tuesday night when Adrian Neville went up against Cedric Alexander. And boy, howdy, what a match that was. And I'm going to have some rave reviews about that bout come Monday night on Ridiculously Raw when I review 205 Live as part of my Tony's Take. So that's a little spoiler alert right there. Rich Swann won the title from the Brian Kendrick on the premiere edition of 205 Live at the end of November, just about 2 months ago. Back on November the 29th, I believe it was. Yes. And Swann has held the belt since. Swann is fun to watch, but Neville is the best cruiserweight WWE has right now. And his recent heel turn makes him the perfect person to carry the division while everyone tries to take him down. I don't like that this belt has switched hands so much in its short resurgence. You remember it was TJ Perkins, then it was D. Brian Kendrick, now Rich Swann. But I think this is a worthwhile change. Bad Neville is a stud and will be an absolute wrecking ball in the Cruiserweight division. He has to be the one carrying that title into and out of WrestleMania. So with that being said, there's if you didn't get it, I think you're going to get it now. Winner and new WWE Cruiserweight Champion, the king of the Cruiserweights, Adrian Neville. Michael Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, I mean, Rich Swann has had a nice run with the Cruiserweight title since winning it on the premiere edition of 205 Live. But yeah, I think it's time for him to eventually lose the title. And Neville, I mean, with his heel turn, I mean, it's been a blessing. I mean, yeah, sometimes I don't like the yelling and screaming that he does when he does his promos. I mean, I'm sure you don't like that too, Florio, because I mean,
No, yeah, I agree with you, Bullock. I mean, it is a little over the top at times.
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do a promo, I mean, tone it down a little bit, will you? But I mean, that's my only advice to Neville. But I know if he were listening to this, he'd probably go off on me.
Yeah, he probably would, and
in his over-the-top way, and say, "Who the hell do you think you are, trying to tell me what to do with my promo?"
Is it just me, or does Adrian Neville have a bit of Drew Galloway in his voice? Drew McIntyre.
I think he does, and you know what I would say to him? Hey, it's my opinion, and my opinion only. And if you don't like it, well, you can kiss my. Well, this is a PG show, so I'm not going to go there with that.
Easy, Bullet.
I know, that's why I stopped myself. And that's why I said, you know what? I mean, like I said, his promos are good, but he just needs to tone it down a little bit. Just saying. But either way, I mean, I think Neville winning this would be good for the Cruiserweight division, and I agree. I'm going to say Neville wins and becomes your new Cruiserweight champion. And then the only question is, who could stop Neville from and end his reign as Cruiserweight champion? I'll give you one answer. Nobody. So Neville wins and is your new Cruiserweight champion.
All right, fair enough. So with that being said, Bullock, get your mic ready because you're going to be starting off on our next match as part of our Royal Rumble preview here. And I know, and this next match is a match that I know you're going to have a major vested interest in. For the Raw Women's Championship, champion Charlotte Flair defending the title against the #1 contender Bayley. Michael Bullock, it's well documented. You have a strong dislike for Charlotte Flair, but you have a very strong love, appreciation for the little girl from San Jose, California, known as Bayley.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Charlotte Flair, I mean, I hate to say it, but she's, I mean, is it just me, or is she becoming like Michelle McCool? I mean, wouldn't you say so, Florio?
Absolutely. I mean, we've even talked about this during our many Raw chats. I mean, Charlotte and Dana Brooke are Lay Cool 2.0. Just saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I mean, Charlotte Flair as the as Michelle McCool and Dana Brooke as Layla, and I hate to say it, but there are times. I mean, she can be annoying and at the point of go away, but Bayley, I mean, she's playing the role of underdog, and you saw some of the promos that they had. Well, those interview segments with Corey Graves this past Monday night on Raw, and of course, Florio. Whenever Bayley comes out, what do we get to see?
In the immortal words of Byron Saxton, the wacky waving arm flailing inflatable tube man.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, my brother, testify indeed.
Woo!
Woo! So, yeah, I mean, I did watch Fletcher's video earlier. He said that he thinks Charlotte's gonna win this because he thinks it's too soon for Bayley to win the title, and basically WrestleMania would be the time for her to do it. But I hate to say it, but I'm gonna actually disagree with Michael Fletcher, because I'm actually gonna pull the trigger. I'm gonna say Bayley wins and becomes the new Raw Women's Champion, because I mean, this undefeated streak of Charlotte's at pay-per-views. I mean, it's been good, but you know it's got to end eventually. So, and I see the Royal Rumble in the Alamo Dome in front of that big crowd as the time I see it happening. So, I know Florio's probably going to disagree with me, and I know Fletcher would probably disagree with me too, but I don't care. Winner and new Raw Women's Champion, it is Bayley. And because I say it is her time right now. She's been held down too long since being on the main roster, and I think this is her time to do it. Bayley, your new Raw Women's Champion. Florio, it's yours.
Oh, Bullock, I really would love to agree with you. I really, really would. I would love to see Bayley
Yeah,
win the title.
I kind of figure you were going to disagree with me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I mean, I have to go with MF on this one. Yeah, I got to go with Charlotte Flair to retain. It's very simply put. WWE has been promoting Flair as having now gone 15-0, defending the women's title at pay-per-views, a tremendous feat. It would make little sense to have that come to an end at the Royal Rumble when it could happen at WrestleMania at 17-0, whether to Sasha Banks, Bayley, or someone else. Bayley is awesome and absolutely deserves her time to shine, especially both here and at WrestleMania. She will eventually win the title, but they're really driving hard at this queen of the pay-per-view angle with Charlotte. If that pay-per-view winning streak is broken, it won't be here with Mania closely down the road and needing that storyline. So that's really all I can say on that. So I got a good feeling about this. I think this is going to be a really good match. We know the quality of the women's matches have gotten so much better since this whole women's revolution started in the summer of 2015. I mean, yeah, there have been a very few ho-hum matches once in a while, but we've gotten mostly very good matches. I mean, look how Charlotte Flair won the title at the last pay-per-view, Roadblock, End of the Line, last month in Pittsburgh, when when Charlotte knocked off Sasha Banks in that unbelievable Iron Woman match to win the women's championship yet again. So there's really nothing left for me to say here. As much as I want to see Bayley get her moment, I say save it for Mania. So really nothing left for me to say here. I got to go with my gut here. I got to go with Charlotte Flair. My heart goes with Bayley, but I have to go with my gut here. I got to agree with MF. Charlotte Flair, the winner, and still Raw Women's Champion. Okay. Now this is where it's going to really get good now. For the WWE Championship. Champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles, defending against John Cena. No match on this card has had better build than this particular match right here. And just like with Nakamura and Rude at Takeover San Antonio tomorrow night, I strongly feel in my heart of hearts that this fight right here is going to be the fight of the night. I think it's going to be a 5-star classic. It's going to be chock full of the finest Shakespearean drama you will ever see. Anytime you put these two guys on TV, it's ratings, it's butts in the seats, it's eyes on the screens, and that's all there is to it. Look what they've been doing on SmackDown Live over the last few weeks. These two guys gave us the greatest contract signing segment in the history of contract signing segments. Oh my. You have to go out of your way to see that, friends, because that was a work of art. And then what they did this past Tuesday night on SmackDown Live. Oh, Nelly, was that amazing. Yes, Bullock, you have something to say to that?
Yeah, I was going to say, because this is like, some of these promos they've had, it's gotten like personal between the two.
And as we always say, they've gone there, they've went there. So, yeah. So, that's all there is to say on that. As far as schematics go, AJ Styles, of course, won the title back in September at the Backlash pay-per-view / network special in Richmond, Virginia, defeating Dean Ambrose. He's held it since. About 4.5 months he's held the title. John Cena, we know his track record. Currently a 15-time WWE World Champion. And one of those 15 world titles came at the Royal Rumble 2006. Remember when he beat Edge in Miami? We'll never forget that. Very emotional title win. And that was coming off Rey Mysterio's emotional Royal Rumble win. And I'll get more into that when we preview the big match coming up in a short. But point is, John Cena with a win will tie the Nature Boy Ric Flair for most World Heavyweight Championship wins of all time. This would be his 16th, should he get it. And we know the body of work of these two guys. They have given us classic matches. First one, of course, came back last June at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. It would have been a 5-star classic if not for the interference of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. But it was a 4.5-star match. That was a classic. And we thought it couldn't get any better. Oh, it did. 2 months later, last August at SummerSlam in Brooklyn, they stole the show. They had the 5-star classic we were hoping for. We wanted a 5-star. We got the 5-star. And it will go down as one of the greatest matches in SummerSlam history. And then, of course, triple threat match with Dean Ambrose and the two of them at No Mercy. That was amazing. That stole the show, of course. Well, that was only good enough for second best fight of the night honors. Remember, Dolph Ziggler and The Miz stole the show that night in Sacramento, as expected. So, oh my. And now what do we got going on here? This will go down as one of the greatest WWE Championship matches in Royal Rumble history. 1992, the Royal Rumble match. Title was on the line. Title was vacant. Many call it the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time. I'll be honest, I'm not ashamed to say I'm one of them. That to me is still the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time. That was a 5-star Royal Rumble match because of the legends and Hall of Famers and star power that was in that Rumble. That title was on the line. Look at Bret Hart and Razor Ramon. One of the most underrated title matches in Royal Rumble history. That was 3.5 to 4 stars. That was a very good title match in Sacramento. That casket match in 94, not so much because, we had a clunky finish in that one. Bullock should know. 95, another phenomenal title match. Diesel, Bret Hart in Tampa, Florida in the Sundome. Oh my. If not for the clunkiness in that one, that would have been a 5-star classic. I gave that 4.5 stars. That was one of the great title matches ever. How about the following year? Bret Hart against The Undertaker. That was a great WWE title match. Another 4.5 star match. Would have been 5 if not for the interference of Diesel. Shawn and Sid in 97, not so much. Of course, the first one in 91 with the Slaughter and Warrior. Great angle, but the match not so much. 98, the casket match, The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Yeah, okay. Of course, 99, one of the greatest of all time, The Rock and Mankind, I Quit match. Some call it a 5-star classic. You can make an argument. Year 2000, Triple H and Cactus Jack, the street fight in Madison Square Garden. Many call that the greatest title match of all time in Royal Rumble history. I'm inclined to agree. Of course, Triple H and Angle in 2001. They had a very good title match. They had a good 4 to 4.25 star title match. 2002, Rock and Jericho. 03, a 5-star classic with Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. 04, maybe the worst title match of all with Brock Lesnar and Hardcore Holly. That was not any good. That was a meh title match. The Triple Threat in 05 with JBL, Big Show, and Angle. No. 06 with Cena and Edge. Solid, but not overly spectacular. 07, Cena and Umaga. They blew us out of the way with that last man standing match. 08, Orton and Hardy. Solid match. 09, same thing with Jeff Hardy and Edge. 2010, Orton and Sheamus, okay. 11, Miz and Orton was fine. 2012, Punk and Ziggler, fine. A very good match. Good 3.5 to 4 there. 2013, with Punk and The Rock, that was phenomenal. 2014, fans pissed all over that because of, that was when the whole Yes Movement thing was starting. That was Orton and Cena. 2 years ago, what a match that was. Lesnar, Cena, Rollins, 5-star classic. I don't care what anybody says. And then last year, you had the title defended in the Rumble match with Roman. So, and then Triple H winning it. So, point I'm trying to make here is we have seen several classic WWE Championship matches in the Royal Rumble. I have a feeling, I strongly feel in my heart of hearts, if it goes the way I think it does, and what these two guys are capable of, I think we're going to see the greatest WWE title match of all time. So with that being said, I've gone back and forth with a prediction on this match for quite some time. On one hand, Styles could continue his year-long run of dominance. He made his debut at last year's Royal Rumble with yet another victory over Cena as he takes the strap into WrestleMania. On the other hand, Cena has finally returned to WWE full-time and appears rejuvenated. Whether Cena fails or succeeds in winning the belt, WWE can continue pushing him towards being just slightly less of a babyface. Outside of either Styles or Cena going up against the Royal Rumble winner at WrestleMania, is there any other match for the world title that would make sense at the WWE's biggest show of the year, except these two facing each other? It is to that end that I think we either see a rematch or Cena versus the Royal Rumble winner in April, which would mean Cena tying Ric Flair on Sunday. Styles was the best thing that happened to the company in 2016, maybe save for the bromance with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho and the ensuing comedy factor. AJ's been an outstanding champion, and let's hope he gets a big-time match at WrestleMania. But I think Cena's slated for bigger and better things heading to the biggest event of the year. So with all that being said, winner and new WWE champion, tying Ric Flair's record for the 16th time. And we'll all get to say it one more time. The champ is here. Winner and new WWE champion, Cena. Michael Bullock, again I ask, how do you follow that?
Once again, I'm going to say I don't think I can, because you just, I mean, I don't think I can even basically top what you just mentioned. But yeah, I mean, what's been going on between Cena and AJ Styles with these promos that they've been putting on? It's just masterful. And I mean, it's just simple. You put a mic on these two, and it's an instant segment of the night, no doubt about it. And I've been going back and forth on this whole thing too. Do I go with John Cena, or do I go with AJ Styles? I mean, AJ's had a nice run with the WWE title since winning it at Backlash. But I think eventually I think it's time to take that title away. And who knows, maybe they have bigger and better things for Cena with the title. So I agree. Winner and new WWE champion, and tying the record for Ric Flair, John Cena. And one more time, we will hear the champ is here. Florio, I got nothing more to say. Let's move on to the WWE Universal Championship match.
Recognized. Here we go. For the WWE Universal Championship, no disqualifications. Champion Kevin Owens defending the title against Roman Reigns. Chris Jericho, the United States Heavyweight Champion, will be locked in a shark cage. And who will ever forget that awesomeness that came out of that? Foley, let me out. You have to hear that in Chipmunk, friends. That's how hilarious it is. So with all that being said, all right, Bullock. Kevin Owens, as we know, won the title last August on Monday Night Raw in a fatal 4-way match for the ages against Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Big Cass. We voted it the Raw match of the year for 2016. Well,
with some help from Triple H.
Yes, with help from Triple H. Roman Reigns, of course, going for another world title here. This would be his 4th. Chris Jericho in the shark cage. And now, no disqualifications as announced this past Monday night on Raw. Here we go, man. Is Kevin Owens retaining, or is the Roman Empire once again going to rise up?
This is another tough one. I mean, obviously, Kevin Owens, of course, has been retaining his title, obviously with some help from Chris Jericho. But obviously, this is not going to happen this time, because Jericho will be in that shark cage where he can't interfere. But I think this will be a good match, because this is no disqualification. But I got a feeling that Kevin Owens is going to find a way to retain the Universal title. So to me, I'm going to go with Kevin Owens retaining the U.S. title, because remember what happened this Monday. We had Roman Reigns, of course, basically locking Kevin Owens in the cage, and basically was being lifted up. So, you know the old saying, it's booking 101, man. So, winner and still your WWE Universal Champion, Kevin Owens. Florio, it's yours.
The Universal Championship has really not had good matches for it. I mean, there's only been 2 good matches since this title came into existence back at SummerSlam. The SummerSlam match with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, which was the inaugural Universal Championship match.
And what you just mentioned, the Fatal 4-Way.
And that one I feel was actually better than Balor and Rollins. I mean, that was 4.5 stars. I would have given it 5 if not for the interference of Triple H. But all these other matches have been, TV quality bouts. I hope and pray this is not a TV quality bout, because the Universal Championship needs a breakout match in order for us to not only take this title seriously, but also to make this title feel prestigious. It doesn't really feel prestigious yet. I know it's only 5 months old, but I want to see that. I want to see this title mean something. You know, Kevin Owens has held the belt for it'll be exactly 5 months when we get to Sunday night. But I've been back and forth on this too. My gut is telling me we're going to see a new champion. My gut is telling me Roman's going to win the belt. And my heart is telling me Kevin Owens is going to successfully defend. But from all the dirt sheets that I've been reading that the current world champions, WWE champion AJ Styles and Universal champion Kevin Owens, neither one of them are not going to head into WrestleMania as the champ, which means the two golden boys of the WWE are probably going to head into the biggest event of the year as the champs. So the hate for Reigns is not justified. Is he poor on the mic? Absolutely. But he's a damn entertaining wrestler who was stuck with a bad gimmick and no direction from the WWE. No matter what you think of him, Reigns walking into WrestleMania with the title is not the answer, though I see a way it could happen. With Seth Rollins not participating in the Royal Rumble and Chris Jericho in a shark cage above the ring, I think Rollins takes it upon himself to interfere in the match and help Roman win the title. Whether this happens after Jericho gets out of the cage or if he never does is of little importance. Rollins would be costing Triple H's handpicked champion the belt, instigating him even further. So that's how I could see it happen. So we'll see what happens. It's unbelievable how much WWE, mainly Vince McMahon, utterly refuses to listen to the crowd reaction on Roman Reigns and turn him heel. We've already seen him win a Royal Rumble to booze and then win what was then the World Heavyweight Championship to booze at WrestleMania 32 while confetti fell from the sky. Talk about being tone deaf. My train of thought here is it seems inevitable that Reigns will once again win this title again to another round of booze. For weeks, it has seemed inevitable that he'd win at this event, including him losing the United States Heavyweight Championship to clear the way. So with all that being said, I know Bullet thinks Kevin Owens is going to retain. I know Annette thinks he's going to retain. I'm not sure about Derek. I haven't gotten a chance to watch his video yet, but I'm sorry. I got to pull the trigger. I got to go with my gut. I got to say winner and new WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Sorry to say. And now, Bullock, it's time.
Your ultimate
Are you ready?
favorite.
The event that for the last 30 years has been built on one little match. A match that was created by WWE Hall of Famer and first ever Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Pat Patterson, which began as a television special, as a USA Network special on January 24th, 1988 in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, at the Cops Coliseum. The following year in 89, it went to pay-per-view. Well, in the first year in 88, not only was it on network television, was it on cable television, free cable television nonetheless, it was also a 20-man Royal Rumble match, won by the great Hacksaw Jim Duggan. The following year, the participants rose from 20 to 30. And it went to pay-per-view. And since then, has it been fun to watch. A who's who of legends and Hall of Famers have won this event. The 30-man over-the-top rope Royal Rumble match, where the winner will challenge his respective brand's champion at WrestleMania 33. Stone Cold Steve Austin holds the record with 3 Royal Rumble match wins. in 1997, 1998, and 2001. 5 other men have won 2 Royal Rumble matches. Hulk Hogan in 1990 and 1991. Shawn Michaels in 1995 and 1996. Triple H, 2002, and last year. And last year, he won the World Heavyweight Championship. Batista in 2005 and 2014. And John Cena, 2008 and 2013. Rey Mysterio holds the record for the longest time spent in a Rumble match, 1 hour, 2 minutes, 12 seconds, in 2006, to give us the most emotionally charged Royal Rumble match win of all time. Santino Marella holds the dubious record of shortest time in a Rumble match, 1 second, in 2009. Roman Reigns holds the record for the most eliminations with 12, set back in 2014. Kane has the most cumulative eliminations in Royal Rumble match history with 44 in 19 Rumble appearances. He holds the record for the most Rumble appearances with 19. Only 3 women have competed in the Royal Rumble match. The late Chyna, Joanie Laurer. She was in 2 Rumble matches in 99 and 2000. Rumored WWE Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix with 1 appearance in 2010 and Karma/Awesome Kong in 2012. So much history in such a great event. An event that wrestling fans all around the world wait for with great anticipation each and every year. And now it is time. Whew. My Lord in heaven. 22 men as of now are in this Royal Rumble match. They are as follows: The Undertaker, Bill Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, The Big Show, Braun Strowman, Big E, Langston, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, Cesaro, Sheamus, Big Cass, Rusev, Mojo Rawley, and Baron Corbin. 8 open spots left. MF said, according to what he's heard, 3 of those spots are going to go to three of the participants from the recent UK tournament, including the UK champion himself, Tyler Bate. He's also said that some NXT call-ups could be coming into this Rumble match, and also some legends as well. So here we go. WWE has done a great job building up this Royal Rumble with some serious star power. It seems clear that Braun Strowman will be the dominant performer in the match, though a face-to-face showdown with the Big Show should be his undoing. Booking him to win, presumably to go on and face Reigns, would be awful. Similarly, Goldberg and Brock Lesnar will result in each other's eliminations, likely with one going out first and then distracting the other who gets eliminated by a group of superstars. Finn Balor making his return is expected, but with only 8 open slots, I could see that maybe coming Monday night on Raw instead. The ideal scenario would be for Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, after all. What keeps bugging me is what reason WWE would have for putting The Undertaker in this match if he's only going to be eliminated. He's not going to face Goldberg or Lesnar, after all. And Strowman doesn't need to eliminate Taker to get some juice. I also have Samoa Joe as a surprise entrant. I also have Kurt Angle as a surprise entrant. As far as who else, I don't know. Rumors going around about New Japan star Kenny Omega is being rumored. So many are being rumored. But I'm beyond excited for this one. So many major players and huge bodies. I think Braun Strowman gets in early and has his moment where he cleans house. Maybe about 10 eliminations, but he's not ready to win yet. Obviously, we'll get Goldberg versus Lesnar at some point. and I'll wager they eliminate each other simultaneously, setting up a final bout at WrestleMania. Triple H and Seth Rollins have to be involved somehow, right? I can't figure out how, but Rollins surely won't miss the event. Maybe Triple H interferes to help Owens and Rollins get involved there. Ultimately, the path has been cleared for The Undertaker versus John Cena at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. I think Finn Balor will be a surprise entrant, but ultimately, who do I have winning this Royal Rumble? I've read a lot of dirt sheets. I've heard some say The Undertaker. Some have said Bill Goldberg. And most recently, I've read that Randy Orton is now the betting line favorite to win the Royal Rumble match. He's won it before in 2009. So we can't rule him out. But I don't have him winning it. Ultimately, who I have winning the Royal Rumble, since the night this man announced his entry into the Royal Rumble match, I haven't backed down from it, and I'm not going to back down now. The winner of the 2017 Royal Rumble match, for the second time in his soon-to-be Hall of Fame career, to go with his win in the very same city 10 years prior. And I know Michael Bullock is going to be very happy when I say this. And I'm not saying it to make you happy, Bullock. I'm saying it because I feel it in my gut, in my heart, and all over my entire being. Your winner of the 2017 Royal Rumble, The Undertaker. And he will go on to WrestleMania, and he will face John Cena for the WWE Championship. Book it. Bullock, what else is there for me to say, man? Who do you got winning the 30th Royal Rumble match of all time?
Man, oh man. Yeah, I mean, you basically ran down the list that are already in, and I agree. I mean, some of these surprise entrants, I mean, I think Samoa Joe could be one of them. I mean, because eventually he's going to get on the main roster. And I mean, I don't know who else. I mean, I even watched Derek Ferrera's video, and he even thinks Kurt Angle will be in there, even though he's already shot down rumors that he's not going to be in the Royal Rumble match. But you never know. We'll wait and see. And he even said, and yeah, I think Finn Balor, I mean, he'll be a surprise entrant. I mean, we all know it's going to happen. And I also saw him say that he thinks Braun Strowman is going to be the favorite to win. Because he thinks that he's going to get a big time push. I'm sorry, Derek Ferrera. I mean, I love you, man, but I strongly disagree with you. I mean, no disregard. I like Braun Strowman's body of work, but I think having him win the Royal Rumble would be a big mistake. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Florio?
At this stage of Strowman's career, I think it would be, but I think maybe a few light years down the road, I could definitely see Strowman winning a Rumble match. Definitely.
So you would disagree with Derek as well?
Respectfully, yes.
Yeah, so basically, I'm going to agree with you, Florio. I got this feeling The Undertaker is going to win the Royal Rumble. So, winner for the second time is The Undertaker, because, I mean, it just doesn't make sense to have The Undertaker come back for this Royal Rumble match and for him just to get eliminated, because, and I'll tell you this right now, if that does happen, watch out. The Phenom is going to come out and he is going to get his shovel out and bury somebody's ass. Winner of the 2017 Royal Rumble match is The Undertaker. He will go on to WrestleMania to face John Cena, and it will be And I'll even go further with that. I think The Undertaker is going to beat John Cena and become WWE champion, and he's going to retire as WWE champion. So Undertaker wins the Royal Rumble. So with that being said, Florio, let's put a bow on this historic night.
We are going to put the bow on this historic night. Excitement levels. What's our excitement level for NXT Takeover San Antonio and the Royal Rumble? In a quick form. As far as San Antonio goes, not really as high as previous NXT events, but I still think it's going to be a great event. I'm leaning towards 7.5 to 8 out of 10 as far as San Antonio goes. But as far as the Royal Rumble goes, my personal excitement level is a perfect 10. But as far as how I think it's going to go down, I think we could be looking at maybe 8 to 8.5 out of 10, if I'm being honest. So, but all I know is I'm looking forward to both events. Yes, I'm looking forward to both events, but if I had to say which one I'm looking forward to more, hands down, it's the Rumble. Wouldn't you agree with that, Bullock?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this 30th Royal Rumble is going to be one for the ages. I mean, this being the 30th anniversary, and of course, with it being at the Alamo Dome, and you take a look at all the superstars that are going to be in that Royal Rumble match, and of course that WWE title match. I mean, this could be one of the greatest Royal Rumbles ever, but we'll just have to wait and see. So, I mean, that's just how I feel about it.
So, what's your excitement level for San Antonio for Takeover San Antonio in the Rumble, Bullock, on a scale from 1 to 10?
On a scale of 1 to 10, when it comes to, what did you? Have you given it yet?
Yeah. I said I said between 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for San Antonio, and 8 to 8.5 for the Rumble. But if I had to say personal excitement, San Antonio was between 7 and 8, and the Royal Rumble is a perfect 10 as far as personal excitement goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much with you on both of those. I mean, I think 7 to 8 on a personal level, and for me, I'm going to say 9 to 10 when it comes to the Royal Rumble. So, but as for when it comes to the actual pay-per-view, first with Takeover San Antonio, I think this is going to be a 7.5 out of 10, while the Royal Rumble, I think it's going to be 8.5 to 9 out of 10. So, yeah, so all these matches really need to deliver, because if they don't, you're going to have a lot of pissed off fans. Simple as that.
Absolutely. So yes, indeed, that will put the bow on this very special Friday night edition of the Wrestling Forum. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. I don't think we should really do the shout outs, considering that we did the Wrestling Forum, the whole thing on Monday night. We always do. But we'll bring our traditional Friday night shout outs back next week. So that'll do it for this. Future content. Obviously we're not going to do this tomorrow night because we already did it here. So we're going to be off tomorrow night because we're going to enjoy Takeover San Antonio and some other things. But come back Sunday night, following the event over on MF's YouTube channel, Brace Fan 95, as Michael Fletcher, Girl MF, will host our Royal Rumble recap edition of the Wrestling Forum with myself and Bullock. Maybe we'll have Dee Woodson with us. I don't know. We'll see. As we will recap, we'll break down every nook and cranny of the Royal Rumble, and I cannot wait to get into that show. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then Monday night, right back here on the Tone 25 for Ridiculously Raw, as we sort out the Monday night, all the fallout from the Raw end of the Royal Rumble and in the whole 9 yards. And then Tuesday night, back on MF's YouTube channel for the newest edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, and of course on Ridiculously Raw, not just Monday Night Raw, but I'll also have my Tony's take on 205 Live and Impact Wrestling. I got high praise for both shows, so it's going to be a double positive review for both shows come Monday night. And then Tuesday night at 10 or 10:30 on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, it'll be the Cerebral Smack Talk, as we are going to, we'll sort out the SmackDown Live fallout from the Royal Rumble. as well as Mikey's Mindset, ROH, maybe some RWA. There's no Lucha Underground. They're on hiatus right now. And then next Friday night, February the 3rd, it's a special night. Not only is it going to mark the 5th anniversary of Strictly Sports, but it's also one of our biggest shows of the year, as we are going to have our complete preview, every nook and cranny dissected for Super Bowl 51. The AFC champion New England Patriots and the NFC champion Atlanta Falcons. We're going to break down everything next Friday night. So do not miss that. So that's it. So until Sunday night, over on MF's channel, BraceFan95 for our recap. It's ridiculously over. Anthony Florio here for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Twisted Angel and First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson, and of course, our Grand Poobah himself, the Hardcore Pipe Bomb, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy everything. Enjoy TakeOver San Antonio tomorrow night. And, of course, the Royal Rumble on Sunday night. And like the late, great Gorilla Monsoon and our own good old MF Michael Fletcher like to say, it's going to be something else. So until Sunday night, you've been watching this special Friday night edition of the Wrestling Forum, our preview of NXT TakeOver San Antonio and the 2017 WWE Royal Rumble right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, like I always say, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. Good night, everybody.